Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is making fun of Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene's new appointment. Now, the Georgia representative has been tasked to chair a subcommittee to help the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, why would that be funny? Well, apparently, the Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE, like the little dog, is not like a real department. Okay. Now, DOGE was tasked by President-elect Donald Trump with the very serious mission of cutting bureaucratic red tape and reducing public spending. However, since it is not an actual real department, it's only technically a commission. It has no real power to do any kind of cuts at all. It can just like recommend cuts. That's it. Which is why AOC thinks it's absolutely hilarious. In a post on X Thursday night, she said this, quote, of Greene, "She barely shows up and doesn't do the reading. To borrow a phrase I saw elsewhere, it's like giving someone an unplugged controller." Think about it. Like, when you were a kid, you had like a little brother or a little sister or whatever. You're playing video games, right? And like your mom's like, you gotta let your little brother or sister play. You're like, oh, all right, fine. Here's a controller. Go ahead, knock yourself out. And of course, the controller's not actually plugged in, and so yeah, have fun. Let them rip, right? Without actually ruining your game. So same thing, except now it's like a whole group of people. You got Marjorie Greene, you got Vivek Ramaswamy, and you got Mr. Doge himself, Elon Musk. I mean, they've all got a fake controller. It's great.
Elon.
Awesome. Look, Congress controls the purse strings, okay? And so, this Doge, they can only give suggestions. And that's not to say that the Republicans won't, try to do massive cuts in food stamps and Medicaid. I think that's pretty much a given at this point. I mean, they've already put out a bill to try to destroy the Department of Education. So, yeah, there will be cuts coming, but the more outlandish ideas, understand that the crazier that they are, the more difficult it's going to be for Congress. Because, number one, there's lobbyists. Okay, a lot of lobbyists on Capitol Hill. A lot of special interest groups on Capitol Hill. Okay, and of course, there's also public opinion. And so that right there, those three reasons are why cutting government programs is actually really hard to do. Okay, so if you're actually looking for the waste, fraud, and abuse, yeah, you're gonna have a hard time. Okay, which is why, of course, they're gonna ultimately do some cuts for these programs that help poor people, not because it's waste, fraud, and abuse, but it's literally the only thing that the lobbyists will be like, no, that's fine. Go ahead and cut food stamps. Go ahead and cut nutrition assistance programs for people that are poor. Oh, yeah, free lunches, get rid of those. Yeah, no. The only people that get free lunch are us, all right, the lobbyists and the politicians that we buy. That's it. Now, that said, AOC followed up her statement by saying this, quote, "I'm absolutely dying at those now getting assigned the privilege of working with MTG. That is actually hilarious. Enjoy, fellas. Very prestigious post you have there." I don't know, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, are you really not going to give respect to the woman who, says things like this?
Nancy Pelosi's gazpacho police.
Peachtree dish, and why their due process rights are being so flagrantly and horrifically violated.
Fragrantly, everybody. Fragrantly.
Jewish space lasers.
I mean, okay, maybe she doesn't deserve any respect. But anyway, now Jamie Raskin joined in on the fun, saying this, quote, "It's hard to keep track of all the new departments and bureaucracies the Republicans are setting up to study the size and efficiency of government." Yeah, it's pointing out the irony here. But Isn't that what Chairman Comer and the Committee on Oversight and Accountability actually said that they were doing over the last 2 years? Where's their report and recommendations? Perhaps the impeachment flop derailed them a bit. Now, not only that, but there's also called the Government Accountability Office. That, that's part of their job to figure out where the government is not efficient. Just saying. Now he continues. So now a noted student of American government, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, will chair a subcommittee to work with two unvetted billionaires who stand to receive billions more in government contracts and subsidies from the government under Trump. That's why Democrats will stay focused on waste, fraud, abuse, and corruption. The government belongs to the people, not the billionaire oligarchs. Yeah, look, there's a lot of ironies here in this DOGE department, okay? Republicans, they say they hate unelected bureaucrats, and then as soon as they, get into power, they plan to appoint a bunch of unelected bureaucrats. Okay. They say they hate inefficiency, and then create a department that is even more inefficient. Okay. Like their overall goal, by the way, which is the privatization of government services, that actually ends up being super inefficient. Hello, middle management. All right. hello, bloated corporate waste. All right. I mean, a great example is forcing people back into the office, right? Because you have these buildings, these giant office buildings that are rented or leased that they actually really don't need, okay? Because if people can do the job at home, why don't you let them? Well, because we got to justify the expense. Plus, people are in the workplace. We can micromanage them. Our middle managers and all will justify their own existence in basically micromanaging their staffers to death. That's what happens. Okay. These jobs, a lot of these jobs can be done from home just as efficiently, if not more, more efficiently. But no, got to bring everybody back to the office because we got to control them, got to micromanage them every single second. It's pretty inefficient to me. Look, at the end of the day, corporations can be more efficient than government, but most often than not, they seem to be more inefficient. Okay, a lot more bureaucracy. And here's why. Government programs, since it uses public taxpayer money, and since there's a lot of oversight here, generally they tend to be leaner, right? With less administrative bloat. And that's, unfortunately, where corporations fail when it comes to efficiencies. There is a lot of administrative bloat in corporations, okay? It's not to say that government doesn't have its issues, right? Of course. Yeah, like any organization, there are going to be issues, right? That said, what's really dumb is looking at government like a business, right? Oh, we want government to run like a business. A business is supposed to make money. A business is supposed to sell a product, right? Well, what kind of business is government? It doesn't sell anything. It's not supposed to. What it is supposed to do is provide basic services like protection and infrastructure, things that are too big for the private sector to take on. Okay, things that are in the common good for a society. Okay, that's really it. And also to take things that, maybe wouldn't be able to get a profit. You couldn't have a good profit margin off of it. Okay? I mean, let's take the post office, for example. Okay? Post office is supposed to deliver mail everywhere. Now, a private company could do that. But in order to cover everyone, that would cost more, right? It would be inefficient. There wouldn't be as much profit in that. And so that's why generally mail delivery should be a government function, because everyone needs to get the mail. That's just one very, very simple, example. Okay, but again, the problem with the Republicans, the Republican Party, is they want everything to be monetized and privatized because their donors are greedy. And if it leaves people out, like, oh, sorry, people in the sticks, you're not going to be able to receive mail because you're too far out. Sad day for you. All right. I guess you're just never going to get mail. And unfortunately, there are people, that get their medications through the mail. So that's going to hurt rural communities the most. And unfortunately, people in those rural communities don't always understand that. Okay. Are not always as receptive to the message that, hey, it turns out government is actually important, and Republicans, who you tend to vote for, are in the process of trying to privatize and destroy the government so that it doesn't work for you. Okay. So that if you actually do want the mail under their system, you would have to pay more for it. Yeah. So, and by the way, the post office, it doesn't get any government funding. It's paid for through stamps. But anyway, getting back to Musk, I bet 100% that Musk will not advise the government to cut subsidies that go to him. Because again, when it comes to how much money his companies receive from government through contracts and subsidies, I mean, he's one of the leading welfare queens, okay, corporate welfare. And so, now, of course, he's going to argue, I need those subsidies. I'm sure you do, buddy. I'm sure you do. Whereas he's going to argue, poor people, do they really need to eat? Nah, I don't think so. I guarantee that whatever cuts that are going to come out of this DOGE commission are going to be exclusively aimed at any program that helps poor people, whether it be helping them eat or helping them just literally survive. Okay, even though we do have billions of dollars going to oil companies in subsidies, we've got billions in corporate welfare overall, and let's not forget the overly bloated military budget. I mean, the Pentagon can't even pass an audit these days. You might want to start there, right? If you're looking for something to cut. But no, it's never going to be considered. Not by this DOGE department, and not by politicians on both sides of the aisle, by the way. The entire thing is a joke. But at the end of the day, of course, the plan the plan is to have pain. I mean, that's what Elon Musk had promised, right? And the pain that Congress plans to deliver unto the most vulnerable, that is no laughing matter. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.